That wasn't just some empty threat, Eluna says, while she looks around frantically, as if she were expecting something to blow up. The thing he just cast was a sacrificial spell, a kind of spell that requires the death of its caster as payment, in exchange for providing effects that would not be obtainable through normal means. The curse of death that the ogre shaman cast on me before we left the fort was also one of these spells. This isn't over yet. Relax, Hodrick says. If his all-powerful Stillwater skeletons couldn't kill us, what do you expect him to do after he's already dead? That's some tough talk coming from someone who couldn't even identify an obvious weakness in their enemy's defenses. Araka says, you all would have been toast if it weren't for me. I'm the one who saved all of you losers. Where's my reward for that, huh? Oh, I've got your reward right here, Hardrick says. He grabs Araka's amulet from Flower's neck and he starts spinning it by the chain. Wait, Flower says, don't do that. Didn't I tell you that she has motion sickness? Really? Hardrick says with a grin as he continues to spin Araka. Huh, I guess it must have slipped my mind. Put her down, Hardrick. It's not worth the bother. I suppose she does deserve this after all she's done. Can I spin her next? That's ridiculous. She did save us, but she still wants to kill us. I don't know, man. Put her down, Hardrick. It's not worth the bother. It's not worth the bother. On the contrary, Barry, Hardrick says, I believe this is well worth the effect. In fact, I think I will be incorporating this routine into my daily schedule from now on. But I need to consult with Araka first. I wouldn't want to impose. What do you say, Araka? Does 10 in the morning sound like a okay? Does 10 in the morning sound like an okay hour for our daily spinning? Oh, I thought he was talking about like 10 as at the time. 10 as in the amount he will spin. But yeah, I suppose that doesn't make sense. Dwarf, Haruka says as Haruka continues to spin her. When I get out of here again, I'm going to stick my hand through your throat, turn you inside out, then I'm going to hang you from a tree by your own intestines so I can use you as a swing. So 10 o'clock is too early then, Haruka says with a grin. Would it be better if we scheduled it for 11 in the morning instead? Oh, apparently achievement unlocked, no casualties. There are people going to die with this? What the hell? Hearing check successful. Observation check successful. Speech. Yeah, see, this is the thing. The things that I never put my because I was always like, I need to put my points into these things. These are the important ones. But it's a good thing I paid attention to these early in the game. They didn't give me any benefit in the early game, but now they do. So while Hardrick and Araka are talking, I hear the sound of stones starting to crumple somewhere on the opposite side of the market square. I turn around in order to try and identify the source of the sound. I realize that the stones on the ground in front of Rose are all slightly cracked. I get an ominous feeling from this. Before I get the time to think things through, my body moves on its own and I start running towards Rose as fast as I can. Just as I reach her, all of the stones in front of Rose suddenly get sent flying into the air as the skeleton emerges from underneath them and tries to stab her in the heart. Oh, she could have died here, holy shit. Stab her in the heart with a rusted knife. I pull the skeleton away from her and slam him into the ground as I take out my own dagger and prepare to deliver the finishing blow. To my surprise, there was no need for me to stab the skeleton because he had already crumbled to pieces the moment it hit the ground. Rose, are you alright? Darren shouts as he and all the others run towards us. Yes, Rose says, thanks to Barry. Barry, how did you know what would happen? Kate asked me, did the stat booster give you a premonition? No, I say. I didn't even know that there would be a skeleton. I just noticed that something was trying to make its way out of the ground near Rose. I didn't want to wait and see what it was. Still, I don't understand why the necromancer would do this, Kate says. Wouldn't the tournament spell have prevented the skeleton from harming Rose? No, Iluna says. When the necromancer died, the tournament spell linked to him disappears along with his aura. The trap was specifically designed to activate after his death in order to circumvent the protection spell's effect. He was trying to use the loophole. This is likely the result of the sacrificial spell he used before he died. But why did he aim for Rose though? Like, because she's a time person? But he wouldn't know that. Would he know that? Maybe he would know that. I don't know. When did his buddy die? I don't even remember when his buddy died. Maybe he was killed before. I do remember Araka killing him, but the time reversal should have revived him. I don't know. Oh gods, Rose says, I never knew that magic could be used like that. I mean, I did have a thought in mind, like if I burn a house down, right, where some civilians are in there, and the spell wouldn't really activate to protect the civilians if I'm not using like the direct magic fire that's coming out of my hand, but I'm just using the surroundings to burn and let the building fall on them. That would kill them, right? And that would not be directly affecting them. I don't think the spell would activate then. I think so, at least. Huh. Now where were we? Oh gods. Rose says, I never knew that magic could be used like that. I can't believe that he'd go to such length just to kill me. Well, to be fair, he did witness you reverse time itself a few minutes ago. Hadrick says, just how in the blaze did you pull off that stunt anyway? I don't know, Rose says. He didn't told me that I was a time weaver before. I thought he was mistaken. I really have no idea on how I did what I did. I was just so desperate to undo everything that had happened that I must have triggered my powers by accident. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to do it again, like anything like that again. Well, once was more than enough, says Darren says. You didn't just save all of our lives rewinding time, but you may well have saved the entire world. I've always wondered who's stronger, Aiden or Araka. We'll have to see. We probably won't be alive to see that if she ever comes out. But we can talk about this later. Right now I need to heal everyone. We wouldn't want to be caught off guard by some crazy duo of mages for hunting for bounties. Alright, these guys were hunting for bounties. Soon after Darren starts to heal us, a loud booming noise suddenly starts to echo all throughout the city. Is he bombing the city? What the hell is happening here? I mean, is he, as in like who? I don't even know who am I mentioning, honestly. I'm still thinking the necromancer's friend, but I don't remember when he died. Okay. Maybe he left, I don't know. The sky above us then quickly gets filled with large holographic screens as people are slowly starting to open their windows in order to get a good look. Even if they seem to be too scared to come anywhere near us, it appears that all of the disc screens are displaying the same thing, which is to say a gnome with messy hair, wearing protective goggles and an oil-stained lab coat, who is currently fiddling with some wires in some kind of workshop while he's humming a joyful tune. After a few more seconds of humming, gnome suddenly looks towards us, takes off his goggles, and then he glues his face to the screen. How peculiar, the gnome says as he backs away from the screen. How very peculiar. I could swear that I've already connected these wires a million times before, but I've never seen the red light turn green until now. Well, no matter. Can everyone hear me? There is a pause in which we can hear a low murmur going around the people watching the screens from their windows. Wait, what am I saying? Gnome says, there is only, this is a one-way transmitter. Even if you answer me, I won't be able to hear you. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and read you this little speech I've got written here on my parchment. And if nobody can actually hear me, I'll just read it again after some times. Now, where did I put that blasted parchment? I mean, he has wires and he's using parchment to write stuff on. Why doesn't he use paper? This is weird. Why? How does their technology go up in one area but not go up in the other area? Very weird. I bet parchment is like dried up goat skin or something, right? Isn't that parchment, or is that just really rough paper? I believe the goat skin is the parchment, but whatever. The gnome disappears onto the screen for about 10 seconds, during which the murmur in the marketplace intensifies. But I could swear I had it around here somewhere. The gnome says as he comes back from under the screen. No matter, I'll just improvise then. The gnome clears his throat before he continues. Ladies and gentlemen, the gnome says, or should I just say, or should I just be saying gentlemen in this case, since there aren't any women mages? Gentlemen and gentlemen, welcome to the Magium tournament. I am Golmiak? What type of fucking name is that? The king of Thelius. And I have a public announcement to make. He's a king? Holy shit, I thought he was a technician or something. Public announcement to make. First of all, I would like to begin with an apology to all the mages who joined this tournament. When you first arrived on the tournament, you were all told that you'd be receiving your objectives privately. Unfortunately, the devices that were supposed to be relaying these messages to you broke shortly after your arrival. I've been trying to fix it ever since, but given that a whole week has already passed, I decided to use this old transmitter as a temporary solution. So they weren't testing us, all the mages, the missions were supposed to be delivered, they just weren't capable of delivering it. That's the fucking issue. So which means that everyone killing each other is not necessarily a good thing. We'll see. The device that was supposed to relay these messages to you broke. Where were we? Normally this transmission should have reached all the cities of Wraithia. This is where we were, right? Yeah. Should have normally reached all the cities of Wraithia and even some areas in the wilderness. But since I can't guarantee that every single mage in the continent will be seeing this, I would like to ask you all to pass this information to your fellow participants who missed the announcement. Gnome clears his throat. And now that the introductions are out of the way, Golnimak says, I believe, what type of name is that? I'm just gonna call him Gol. I believe it is time to give you all what you have been waiting for. The gnome grins. Your first objective, he says. End of book 1. Jeez, that was fucking cool. That was fucking cool. I'm gonna be back in a moment. Let me see how do I unlock the book 2, because I believe I have to buy it. Let me buy it, then I'll be back.